Anybody who wants coffee is
Okay, hello everyone. Welcome to today's masterclass. My name is Pavel Sladký and it's my pleasure to welcome you and to welcome Lava Diaze. We will be talking about madness and sadness of Filipino history, I presume. We will be discussing time and space in his films and many more topics. It depends on you as well. Please, if you'll be having any questions during the talk, just raise your hand, give us a sign, and step in the discussion if you have anything to add or ask, or keep it later for later, and then in the end of the masterclass there will be enough time to discuss the topics you want to bring up. So please feel free to step in the debate. We have also several clips from Lava Diaze's films we would like to show, or I have picked them. It will be a kind of surprise for Love. So let's see. And those clips are from films that are not shown here in the program at Summer Film School. So it might broaden your experience with method and with the work of Lava Diaze. It all started much earlier than from what we can see from the program here in Uherské Hradiště, because you started with films that are pretty much unknown nowadays, and that are not this kind of slow cinema long films. These films, like Burger Boys, which is a film from 1999, you can find it online. It's somewhere on YouTube because your production company put it online already. Could you tell us a little bit about your beginnings?
Yeah, in 1985, I did a short film. It's 3 minutes. It's called Banglao Cleansing. That's a start, Super 8. So. And then I made a video. When video came, we had a chance to use the very first video cameras in the Philippines. So we did a short. It's called Step No, Step Yes in English. And we still have a copy of that material in the country. And then I went to work in New York, and that's where I started shooting Evolution of a Filipino Family. I was working on that film for 10 years. And then when I went back to the country in 1997, I did Burger Boys. I was offered a job in this studio, so I need money to take care of my 3 kids. So yeah, I accepted the job to make 4 films within the studio. Yeah, I did 4 films there on 35mm. Burger Boys, The Criminal of Barrio Concepcion, Naked Under the Moon, and Jesus Revolucionario. Those are the studio films.
And these films are in kind of action criminal genre slash comedy, or
it's a mix. Burger Boys is a farce. You know, it's a story of 4 kids who are writing a script about being hold-uppers of a bank. So it's a farce. The original title is Child Play, that kind of thing, and it's a critique on the burgeoning, unabated criminality in the country, and I'm trying to understand it via the gaze of these 4 kids. That's Burger Boys, and after that I did Criminal of Barrio Concepcion. It's about a real kidnapping in 1997. I was inspired by this story of a farmer who stole a child of their victim. They hold up a place, and then he saw the kid, and because he has no kid, so he kidnapped the kid. And when the kid grew up, he brought back the kid to the real family, the Criminal of Barrio Concepcion. again, it's inspired also by Crime and Punishment by Fyodor Dostoevsky. The Naked Under the Moon and Jesus Revolutionary.
And did you enjoy it, or was it rather?
Yeah, I learned a lot. I learned a lot. The studio, they give you this shitty Aritusi big, old camera, 35 millimeters, so heavy and it's so noisy. But you work around it. You work around it. It's so good. And I learned how to do things, within the system, how to work around people, how to, black actors, all the gamut of filmmaking, film production. I learned from those 4 films because it's very, very, hardcore. You finish a film in 7 days, 35 millimeter.
You were born in the north of Philippines, in
the south.
South?
Yeah.
And in a village countryside region.
Yeah, I grew up in the island of Mindanao. It's the southern part of the country. It's the Muslim area of the country, and there are like 99 indigenous peoples in that big island. In the early 50s, when my parents graduated from college, the government opened the island for so-called pioneering days. So my parents were social workers and young public school teachers, so they volunteered and they stayed in the Muslim area. So we live in this area where there's so much poverty, no roads, no electricity until I was in college. So yeah, I am very grateful for that education that my parents gave me, looking at poverty, face to face in that island.
I can kind of see you following the footsteps of your parents, like in terms of the region, because you are coming back to the island with your filmmaking, certain topics, and like civil society and civil rights abuse and many more topics. It might be traced to your childhood, we might say?
Yeah. I've seen a lot of that from my parents and other social workers and activists in the countryside where we grew up, because that's what they did. They educated the people. They built roads, they built schoolhouses. They taught these indigenous peoples how to clean themselves, how to use soap, how to cut their hair, everything. How to create a toilet, how to create a livable house. But most of these indigenous peoples are more nomads, they are more attuned to the ways of nature. So there's a lot of struggle to contain them in one place at the same time. Yeah.
Growing up in this environment, what brought you to cinema?
When in our area, we live in the middle of the forest, and there's like 2-3 hours away, there's a town which has 4 cinemas, and they have double bills. So my father was a cinema addict, and we would watch 8 movies every weekend. That's my film school. Yeah. Everything, we watch movies every weekend. Hong Kong, Hollywood, spaghetti westerns, the Filipino slapstick comedy, Filipino action movies, everything, we watch them. Yeah.
Do you remember some specific early memory?
I know all the James Bonds then. I know all the, I'm still in love with Bud Spencer and Terence Hill. Yeah, I love them. Jackie Chan, Bruce Lee, all those guys. Yeah.
That's great to hear.
Yeah.
Then in the beginning of the new century, you started with this slow cinema era of yours, never coming back to this Burger Boys era, if I may call it this way. What was like the biggest lesson you learned doing Batang West Side or Evolution of a Filipino Family, your first long films which established your author approach?
Yeah, I wanna make cinema on my own terms right from the very beginning. I wanna use the medium more as a tool for change, for discourse, for dialogue. That's my view of cinema. Even though I love all cinema, I love Hollywood. I love the spaghetti westerns. I love kung fu. I love all the samurai movies of Japan. But I'm more into how my parents, work with the indigenous peoples as social workers. So in college, this was 1975, during the height of martial law. Our literature teacher assigned us to watch a film called Manila in the Colors of Neon. It's a film by Lino Broca. And when I saw the film, it changed my perspective of cinema. Finally, I said I found my cinema, because this film by Lino Broca is so into social, the social problems in the country, the social illness. It's critiquing what's happening in a very, very concrete way. The lives of the working class, the lives of the working people, the lives of, the lumpen proletariat, the neglected people, the lives of the people in the underbelly in the country. And this film just opened up everything. That started it for me. I want to be a filmmaker from then on.
The martial law era seems to be like the crucial experience of yours, because it started in your teens. You were like 13, 14 or something like that?
Yeah, I was in second year high school. If you watch the film tomorrow, the film From What Is Before, it's about the coming of martial law in the country in 1972. I shot that film in 1971, 72, 71. I wrote that film from memory. So it's about memory of our village when it was taken over by the military. So I was a witness as a young man to the coming of militarism in our country. That's very brutal. It's really brutal. It's the darkest period of our history. It's even darker than the years and years of colonialism. Almost 400 years of Spain, almost 100 years of America. The brutal Japanese period. But then martial law, the dictatorship of Marcos, was more brutal. There's so many, tortures and kidnappings and abduction that happened, extrajudicial killings that are still unsolved. Like Melancholia yesterday was about that. About people who lost loved ones and they're still missing until now. There's this abyss of unresolved things in the psyche of the Filipino, in the soul of the Filipino, because of martial law. That period, yeah.
Could you maybe explain a little bit more what was going on? Because Ferdinand Marcos is a president of Philippines today, which is son of the dictator.
Yeah. They cheated in the elections, of course.
Yeah,
they're back in power. Yeah.
So it might again feel like the history is repeating itself, or how do you reproach?
Yes. It's just, even if the son of Marcos is not there, the previous president Duterte is even worse than Marcos. He killed almost 30,000 people with his so-called war on drugs from 2016 to 2022. That was again another dark period of our country, because there's a lot of extrajudicial killings during President Duterte's reign. And if you watch When the Waves Are Gone, it's going to be shown, I think, tomorrow. So yeah, it's about the killings under Duterte. So out of this recorded, extrajudicial killings, there's no accountability.
I think it might be even tonight.
I think it's tonight. Yeah. When the Waves Are Gone. Yeah. I tried to catch it. I shot that on 16 millimeters. It feels good to be back with 16 millimeter.
How important for you is whether we as European audience get the notion of what is going on in terms of exact historical dates and figures in the film? Is it like crucial for you, or the general notion of certain madness or dictatorship rising or whatever is more important, like on a general level for you?
Yes, on a general level, we can just look at what's happening right now. Putin, So it's all these epochs in our histories, not just the Philippines, even here in Czechoslovakia, the Soviet era, and even before that, in the Philippines, it's about all these epochs that, created fractures in our cultures, created, traumas in our culture that we can, even, solve or even put some, kind of, this malice can never be, checked. It will stay with us, yeah. Yeah, you have a question?
Yeah, I was wondering if you get involved in some kind of direct political action yourself, or if you just speak through your films on the issues.
Well,
I might maybe repeat because of translation.
You mean to be very active in the Philippines against the dictatorship and against?
Yeah, in some
I think we've done that before during martial law, where we were in the streets, trying to fight the system then. But now it's different. You ask people to go to the streets now, nobody's coming. The internet thing, you think it's going to solve everything. No, it's even harder. It even increased the wall of ignorance amongst our people everywhere, It's so unfortunate that we have this fast information in our laptops and everything, but the irony is the wall of ignorance is even bigger now. It's even becoming apparent and palpable. I don't know what's wrong with us human beings. Yeah.
I read that the Philippines is one of the most dangerous countries for journalists to live.
Yes, we're like, I think we're number 2 now. We should be number 1, I think. I love it when we're number 1. It's a joke.
How do you make films actually about the?
Well, the system doesn't care about artists. We're like pariahs. They think we're not dangerous. They're okay with us. That's how stupid our politicians are, our leaders. Yeah, they don't care about culture at all. You don't know the role of culture in, nurturing people's minds, nurturing people's souls. They think it's just economics, it's just power, it's just all this gold, all this, material thing. They don't care about culture at all. They don't know how, Homer, the epic poem, can help, people's souls, or, Dostoevsky's Karamazov can, liberate people's minds, or, the cinema of this, Rossellini, or, they don't care about culture at all. That's the problem. And because of that, we're relatively safe. Yeah. We can always put our dirty fingers on them, and they don't care at all. Yeah, you're a pariah if you're an artist, yeah.
What do you think is because you make a lot of films about social issues, what is your recipe, or what do you think is the best way to talk about those issues in a way that individual people will actually think about it and that it will actually touch them? What is the best method to take this big topic and make it accessible for a normal person watching it?
Well, just like this place, the Summer Film School is a great place for dialogue. So it's important that we have these, institutions and platforms. Films are for film festivals where we can have a very, very Socratic, view of these works, which means we have to discourse on it. We have to confront things. So we need to create these films to create more dialogue, to create more discourse.
I mean, how do you do it as a director? Like, how do you take the topic and make it into a script? Like, what's important? What are the key characteristics?
Awareness, trying to work on the truth more. That's the struggle for artists, especially on social issues. Try to be truthful, try to be honest, and try to work more on, the examination of the psyche of the human being. And it's hard. You need a lot of discourse, you need a lot of research, you would be needing a lot of, objectivity, so to speak, because most of the time we're so subjective. We're so full of ourselves, We need to have that kind of openness to real issues, to be able to affect maybe little change, on people's minds. And these are platforms that are good. We are talking now, so this is part of it, very Socratic dialogue.
regarding the question about journalism, there is even a character of journalist in the When Waves Are Gone. So you are dealing with this topic like very specifically in one of your newest films.
Yeah, he's a real journalist. He was a photojournalist, and he witnessed the killings. The photos in the films are his photos. The one that's in the front page of the New York Times is his photo. The one that's in the front page of Washington Post was his photo. His name is Rafael Lerma. He's a great activist and a great photojournalist and a great human being. Now he's still fighting in the country, working with some human rights watchdogs there, trying to get all the information and, proofs against the former President Duterte so that we can bring him to The Hague, to the ICC at some point. Yeah.
One of your films is called Lullaby for a Sorrowful Mystery. Yesterday's one was Melancholia. Like, there is no rage in the titles of your films. It's rather melancholia, sadness, sorrowful mysteries, and stuff like that. So the outcome in terms of emotions, it's not that you're angry dealing with the history of your own country. It's rather some inner feeling of sorrow.
Yeah.
Could you comment a little bit on this?
Yeah, well, cinema must be more on poetry, must be more on music, must be more on discourse and, some soul there. So, yeah, you can always show rage and everything, all the cruelties of the world in cinema, but, it's like, doing cinema for me is just like writing a novel where you can see the gamut of life and everything. So it's not, it's not the fast cuts of Hollywood that I want to do. I'm more into poetry when I'm doing cinema. I'm more into playing guitar when I'm doing cinema. So yeah, it's like that. It's more of that. I want you to feel it. I want you to be nurtured by the film, just like a great poetry or a great song.
Music seems to be really important for you, even though there are huge parts of your films that are completely without music. The use of music is very strong. Do you consider the flow of the film, the rhythm, and so on to be kind of music?
Yeah. It's more of that, because I'm more of a musician and a writer than... I don't know what's a filmmaker at all. I don't know if I'm a filmmaker or I'm a good filmmaker. I'm more, writing songs, writing poetry, writing a novel. So, yeah, it's when I'm doing cinema, I'm finding the beat, I'm finding the rhythm, I'm finding the cadences of the language, so to speak. Yeah. I'm finding the soul of what I'm doing. I'm always in doubt. There's a lot of uncertainties in doing it. I don't know what I am doing at some point. It's very hard to make cinema. But the thing that gets me is I know that I'm trying to put some soul there, put some dialogue with you guys in my film. Yeah.
Which leads us to our first clip, maybe, because it's all in there. Music is in there, dialogue in a very specific context is there, and some of the topics we have already discussed. So maybe let's play it. The clip is from the film Season of the Devil, The Devil's Season.
It's a musical.
Has anybody seen it? It's a musical.
It's a rock opera without instruments, it's a cappella.
So it's a mixture of the slow cinema with musical, and in a very specific form. Mouse is not working, so hopefully we will be able to play. And what really struck me on this film were dialogue scenes with a lot of singing, like this one, because this is singing during interrogation. So let's show it. Do we have the sound?
ang ginagawa ko dito ay tama.
Ngunit kaibigan, ano sa'yo ang tama?
Ang ginagawa ko dito ay yung nararapat.
Ngunit paano ba, kaibigan? Ano ba talaga ang dapat?
Alam mong minsan marahas ang batas. Pero wala tayong magagawa dahil ito nga ang batas.
Pero kaibigan, hindi dapat ikaw ang batas. At winawaksi ang katarungan kapag sarili ang batas.
La 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 ang tulad mo'y walang ang pangunawa sa batas. Pero hindi katarungan ang laging sinasaad sa batas. Karaniwang ang punto nito'y para sa kaayusan lamang, na dapat sundin ng isang individual at ng isang lipunan. La 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 la
Ang ginagawa ninyo ay hindi tama kung ang tao'y takot at wala ng tiwala. Hindi kaayusan ang paggamit ng baril at bala. Hindi kaayusan kung ang mga tao ay hindi malaya. La 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 la. Ilan na ang namatay sa inyong bala?
Trabaho lang ito, kaibigan, trabaho lang.
Ilan na ang nawala sa inyong bala?
Trabaho lang ito, kaibigan, trabaho lang.
Bakit ninyo pinapaniwalaan si Narciso?
Kagaya mo, mahal niya ang bayang ito.
Huwag niyong wasakin ang bayang ito.
Kagaya mo, kaibigan, mahal ito ni Narciso. La 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 la
It's a black and white version of Jesus Christ Superstar. Or Tommy by the Who.
I've never seen anything like this before, and there are many topics inside of this. Like the man interrogated is dealing with the power, singing together, and then refusing to sing together in the last moment of the clip we have just seen. So there is a whole place and space to think about how we deal with the power when the power is against us. Like how can we deal with the unjust power without singing along with it?
Fight, you know, or you know, it's time to assassinate Putin, maybe. Yeah. You know, how can the masses survive? How can people survive? You know, we have to have some kind of, you know, concrete, you know, proactive way of doing it now. You know, Europe is gonna disappear anytime. Medvedev said yesterday, President Medvedev of Russia, if we can't get Kiev, then we'll do the nuclear thing. It's not a joke anymore, yeah. Yeah, the way, if you see this film, it's about that. You know, fascism is never a joke, you know. Imperialism is never a joke, you know. All this populist perspective is never a joke, you know. The Nazis, they're never a joke, you know. So we need to have some kind of a concrete way of dealing with these things.
Who are the actors in this film? We have just seen
theater actors, great actors. They know how to use space, they know how to use, you know, and they know how to sing as well. They've done musicals in their lives, but it's so hard for them to sing without, you know, instrumentations and memorizing just by cadences, you know. The syllabic measures, that's what we did. We did the syllabic measures of our old folk, you know, songs, and then mix it with rock and roll, that kind of thing, and some Western folk songs as well, that kind of beat.
How do you pick actors? Like, especially for specific roles like these are? Some of them are professional, some of them are non-professionals. You mix them, and we can't really say who's who.
Trust. For me, it's trust, and then instinct as well, common sense. Like most of the actors, I know them. They're activists. They're not just actors. They're great human beings in the Philippines. They're activists. They fight the system. They fight the ills of the system. They talk. You know, they're activists, and they know my work as well. We have this trust. We're like family. You know, we're friends. And every time we shoot in villages, in the islands of the country, we involve the community. If I see some interesting people, we involve them as actors as well. So I'm mixing professional actors and non-actors always. Yeah.
So is it your community of collaborators, actors, and crew and all together? Or is it like a shared community? Like that the independent Filipino cinema is a community?
I have my group, I have my small group, but we share also with other, you know. We are a small community of filmmakers in the country, especially the independent scene, you know. But we help each other, and of course I have my small crew.
One more question maybe before we leave this very specific scene. There is this moment where the guy who's sitting in the back is going there and grabbing the food, which is kind of like a humorous moment, or at least I feel it this way. Was it your attempt to make it a bit lighter or maybe more bizarre? Or wasn't it a humor originally?
It's funny, but at the same time it's very dangerous. It's very tactile, very physical, you know. These are the militia in the country, so it's based on real characters where during martial law, the military machine of Marcos, you know, armed some people, like 17,000 people were armed. They're not trained as military people, but they were trained to intimidate people. They were trained to torture people. Those are the ones, you know. You know, the touch there in the scene is like, okay, don't say bad things and you're gonna die. It's a warning, that kind of thing. It can be funny, but it's horrifying, you know, the kind of push, you know. Don't push it too much. You're questioning authority. There's a thing there.
I think even Martin Scorsese might like this scene with gangsters and food and power and don't overstep certain lines which are unspoken and
the gestures, the touch. All these little nuances can say so much about fascism.
Any questions at this point? Okay, go on.
The interrogation scene reminded
by Joshua.
Yeah, and
It's very near us. The act of killing it happened at the same time with this.
right.
The communist massacres in Indonesia, it happened at the same time with the marshal of the Philippines. You know, Soekarno and Marcos, they're at the same time. You know.
And I'm here because I saw the act of killing many times. I studied it and I was able to watch it. And then I watched it recently and I realized I didn't finish the film. So that time, and I'm not sure, and I know that there is a camp that loves the film and a camp that hates it. What do you think? Because you mentioned that discourse is important. Well, what Oppenheimer did is, like, do you think...
There are questions about what Joshua did. Joshua Oppenheimer is a good friend. When he did it, it was a monumental work on that issue of the massacres of the activists and communists in Indonesia. Because there's a lot, almost 1 million were killed during that period. And then some are not really, just like a McCarthyist thing, some are not really involved with the movement. They were just, you know, victims, collateral damage of what's happening. But it's Joshua's decision to, you know, he involved the real criminals in the film. So that's some kind of an ethical issue for some. So yeah, we can discourse about it, but it's the praxis that Joshua did with his film.
I mean, do you think it's, like, for you, does it provoke a discourse?
Of course, yeah. Yeah, it's talking about the truth, about the killings in Indonesia. And there's never a film about it before that. There are small films that tackle that issue, but Joshua made it more, you know, palpable. It was all over the world, and it's great, that kind of discourse on the genocide that happened in Indonesia. Just like what happened in Armenia, we should talk about it more. We shouldn't stop talking about the Holocaust. And what's happening in Ukraine now, we shouldn't stop caring. Because every day there's a child that's dying in Ukraine. You know, anyway we have to present it and have a discourse in it to stop it at some point, yeah.
Yeah, and the level of denial is absolutely fascinating in the film. So let's maybe just put it this way and underline that the act of killing is absolutely a must-see movie. So if you want to go for it,
even if you don't like it, just the dialogue about it would be great. Yeah.
And when your films are discussed, time is always an issue, a topic. I would like to.
People hate me for that.
I would like to invert a little bit this discussion and talk more about space than time, because it's related, obviously. But it seems to me that some of the films you have done are kind of rooted in the space, and the time is around it. Have you ever started with a place, scene or a whole film, and then how long the take is going to be, how long the film is going to be evolved gradually?
Yeah, like what I've said a while ago, I want to do my films on my own terms. Part of it is I'm a Malay, and the Malay race, again, is the Filipinos, the Malaysians, and Indonesians. So this is the Malay race. And we're so attached to nature, to space, you know, that kind of attachment, you know, where we work around the ways of nature. And our idea of time is dealing with all the spaces that we have and dealing with, you know, the brutalities of the elements and the generosity of the elements, which is nature. So when I'm doing my cinema, I have that kind of perspective as well. I want to see that kind of culture in my works, you know, where waiting is very important, where, you know, trying to deal with, you know, one frame, one take would be good to achieve that, you know, or a long form of cinema would be able to achieve that. I cannot do a cut-to-cut of evolution of a Filipino family. It's 11 hours. How can you cut it into 2 hours, no? So, yeah. I want my cinema to be that, to create more, that feeling of being part of that immersive, space and time. Yeah.
So, would it make sense to cut some of your long films into a TV miniseries?
Well, if I can make a living out of it, yes. Yeah, because I need to eat too, so it's okay. I'm doing as a TV series right now, actually. But I've done the cut, and the people who funded the thing hate the work so much. So I don't know. So what is this? 5-minute shot. What is this? 10-minute shot. It's not television. I don't know what's gonna happen with the work. Maybe they're gonna show it someday. So, yeah. But I made little money out of it, so it's good. I can eat.
There are many shots, especially from the countryside, in your films, where we see the landscape, then people enter it, they somehow wander through the take, and they leave, and we still see God's own country, or how to put it. Like, there is the notion of nature and land you have. Like, can you put it this way, or?
Yeah. Nature is such a big actor in my film. So yeah, it's I can't escape it. I grew up in that kind of culture. My gaze is the tree, the river, the lakes in the place where I grew up. So it's a kind of perspective and relationship as well.
I will try to play a clip which is online. Hopefully it won't betray us, but it's...
What film is this?
It's not from a film, it's a video essay, so various shots cut out from your films, showing especially the landscape and the rhythm in it. So let's play it and we'll see. all four elements in both color and black and white in this supercut clip from your films. Is there anything to add about the man and the landscape, or man and the nature, after seeing this for you?
Yeah, you can see that nature, the space is such a big actor there. There's the things that we don't see, the imposition of the elements around us, they affect us. Now it's climate change. Now we're trying to be, aware now of our beautiful Earth that's dying now. So it is that thing in the scenes that you see, the imposition of the elements around us can really affect us. We just don't see them, but let's have an awareness now of these things. It is that kind of palpability in the sense where, it's not just the action of the protagonist. It's more of there are spirits around us, nature.
You show the powers of the nature in the almost like endless mythological element.
They're alive. Nature is alive. Like right now, there's such a big storm in the country, and it's killing people. It's devastating things. Again, it's not a joke anymore. Climate change is here, imposing on us, and if we're not do anything, then, according to scientists, in 30 years things will be irreversible. We cannot save the Earth anymore. We have to do something. We have to, confront nature in a very, very, Socratic way. Let's have a dialogue with nature now. Let's have an awareness now.
Isn't it like too much for one man? Dealing with crimes Japanese did on Filipinos, crimes Filipinos did on Filipinos, crimes people are doing against nature, trying to remember all of it in your own region, but also out of it.
I'm just a storyteller. I'm just a chronicler of what's happening. I'm more of a journalist and a writer and a storyteller. So I'm just doing my small part on how we will remember the Earth, the world. We will remember the world because of cinema.
How do you decide between black and white and color? We have seen in the clip El Norte, which will be screened on Wednesday, I think, which is filmed in color.
It's instinctive as well. Like black and white. It's a relationship. I have a relationship with black and white. I grew up watching a lot of black and white in my youth. So the 8 movies a week, they're all black and white then. So it's more of a relationship than a theoretical discourse on black and white. I love black and white, that's it. It's like my girlfriend or my father or my mother or some ancient, attachment. Black and white for me. Cinema for me is black and white. And I do color as well. I love color as well. So I did 6 films in color. The 4 films in studio. Batang West Side was in color, and Norte was in color. Like Norte, for example, it's a decision that I made a day before the shoot. I was supposed to shoot Norte in black and white, but I realized that it's better in color when I decided on the location. I shot the film in all the places where Marcos grew up, because Norte is about the young Marcos. It's about the birth of fascism in the Philippines. So I decided to shoot the film in the places where he grew up. And when I saw the places where he grew up in the northern part of the country, because it's so beautiful there. The hues, the changing of the colors, the weather is so good. There's the desert, there's the vast, ocean, and then also trees and the mountains. And I was wondering, how can fascism be born in this beautiful place? Marcos grew up there. He was born there, and he became this motherfucker. He imposed so much, cruelty in our psyche. I can't understand it. And the places where he grew up, it was so beautiful, really beautiful place. That's why I decided in color. I said I have to show this thing in color. It's very instinctive as well.
All of your newer films are shot digitally. So
the latest one is 16 millimeter. When the Waves Are Gone.
When the Wave was...
and the one that's going to be shown in Locarno next week, it's half of it is 16 millimeter and half digital.
And black and white again, as far as I've seen some photos from the
black
film. And white. Is there an option for you to shoot a film and afterwards decide whether it's going to be black and white or in color?
Yeah. Sometimes I shoot things in color and I just, desaturate it. Take away the color. Again, it's always going back to the nature of cinema for me. It's a relationship, like I said. Yeah. More of that. It's like a relationship with your camera. You have to understand it well. You have to understand your guitar well. You have to understand your sofa well, to be able to live with it. To be able to have a real relationship, to have a nurturing, relationship.
So you don't manipulate colors in front of camera because you know that this is going to be black and white. So red will come out very different than out of the palette.
Yeah, it's more of that. Be open about things. Like if I decide to do it in color, then I have to be very open about it. Why? There's gonna be a lot of discourse as well. Why do I need to have color for Norte? For Badang West Side, and if it's black and white, then it's also a decision. Decisions are made during the cutting, during the post-production, during the editing.
There is so many static shots in your films. Does it mean that you look very long for the right position for camera, and then it stands, and we are shown?
It's more of an understanding of the geography, because every time I make a film, I make sure that I know the places where I'll shoot the film. Like with what is this? The last film, I went to that province for 2 months, and just trying to live there, trying to understand where the characters will live, it's their habitat. It's the issue of habitat where the story will happen. So during the shoot, framing is just, it's just second nature, because you know already where the actors or the characters will move. It's easier that way, to have an understanding of the geographical, or an understanding of the milieu.
There are so many genre elements in your films. We have already discussed musical elements in The Devil's Season, but there is also sci-fi, there is crime thriller in one of your, or in more films, but especially When the Waves Are Gone, it's a cop crime story.
And a western as well.
With elements of western, and all put in kind of film noir design, right? So how do you choose from those genres?
Well, they come handy because, like I said, I grew up watching a lot of cinema. So, the visual cortex, the visual cortex of my head is full of those genres. So every time I make cinema, it's good to use the genres. It's good to use horror. It's good. All my films are horror films anyway. It's about the horrors of humanity, or being animals, not understanding our humanity at all. So they're horror films. So I do a lot of genre, things in my film. You can just see it that it's more of a western, it's more of a film noir, it's more of sometimes they go slapstick as well. There are comedy parts,
And in The Waves Are Gone, there are two antagonists, both cops, both brutal, and they are standing one against each other. So we kind of know where this might lead.
Yeah, there's going to be a final battle, a final reckoning, a final duel, sort of. So it's very Western in a way, the final thing.
In using these genre elements, is there something you try to avoid? Because you
The
feel
cliches. You avoid the cliches, you know. There are traits of the genres that are really good, you know, like the film noir. I use that in the Hulk, you know, Western in the When the Waves Are Gone. But I'm very careful as well not to do the cliches of the genres.
Any question about genres or whatever else related to? Yes, go on, please.
I'd like to ask how you use music in your films. How important is the music when you do long shots? How is the connection of the music and the long shot and so on?
I don't use a soundtrack, but I'm a musician myself, so when I make cinema, it's like that. And it's, again, like what I've said a while ago, it's like playing the guitar, playing the piano. You find the rhythm, you find the beat, especially during the editing. That's where you find the rhythm and the beat. And during the shoot, it's chaos. It's more punk. You know, it's punk rock during the shoot. Because even if you have ideas, you have to be very open about it. You know, you just let it flow, be fluid. You know, be open to threads. Because in my process, I don't have a script. I write the screenplay the night of the shoot. I always wake up at 2 or 2:30 in the morning and I write the script for the day. I usually write 3-5 scenes a day, and that's it. I don't know what's happening. I'm just following, you know, the characters, the flow of the narrative. I don't know where it's gonna go. I'm just being open, you know. Just like, you know, playing jazz as well, you know. Free, fusion, you know. Just let it flow. I'm more into the little details. You know, you work around a note, play around a note, and then suddenly there's this whole harmony and beat, and, you know, suddenly there's melody. So you work around it, yeah, be open. Yeah.
Yes, please.
Yeah.
You talk about music, shots, and so on. What about sound design or soundscape?
Yeah.
For example, in Melancholia, nature is sort of another character in that movie. So what about soundscape, sound design, and these kind of things?
Yeah, sometimes we clean the sound, but with Melancholia, I didn't even touch the sound. It's really bad sound, you know. But that's the beauty of that film, you know. It's a DVX, and I'm shooting alone. We're only like 4 people doing the film. We were in the mountains, and it's always raining every day. You deal with the mosquitoes and the snakes every day. It's hard. With the mud, yeah. Melancholia, we were high up in the mountains of the cold region of the country, and it's really bad, the conditions. And we have little money. We're sleeping in, you know, shitty quarters, so I didn't even clean the sound for Melancholia, and it worked, you know. Yeah.
Especially rain is very heavy sound in this film. And Tarkovsky used to say that rain, that is something purifying, water falling down on people. Bellatar in the opposition said rain is just something creating mud, and we are all in the mud here on the earth. You seem to have both in the film. There's no opposite in between these approaches. Do you agree?
Yeah. Water is, you know, water is epic poetry. You know, there's a lot in water. It's very nurturing. At the same time, it's very horrifying. It can kill you, or even it can give you life, or it can kill you. In the Malay perspective, it is that water is some kind of it's attached to devastation and reconstruction. It's attached to death and rebirth. In our perspective, you know, the storms will come. It will destroy the whole place, and then you'll have to reconstruct and regenerate again, and you start planting rice and corn and all these fruits, and it's very giving as well. It is that kind of irony and contradiction, how we see water in the Malay perspective.
There's one more question, wasn't it? Yeah. Yes.
Já jsem se chtěl zeptat, vy jste mluvil o ochraně přírody, tak jak ta debata probíhá na Filipínách?
You were talking about protection of nature. How is this going on in Philippines nowadays?
It's very bad. Yeah, the government is allowing a lot of mining now. Again, they're opening up. American companies, Japanese companies, Canadian companies, Australian companies are coming again for the mining, so it's very bad. And yeah, there's a lot of neglect with the environment. And people are also very responsible. If you go to the country, there's a lot of garbage everywhere, so it's really, it's horrifying. It's horrifying how it will end up. I don't know.
You released one album. Do you think you will ever release another album, and what influences you when you are making music?
There's a lot. Bob Dylan, the Beatles, punk, Nirvana, all these guys, or even Bach and Beethoven, We just did the latest album. We just went to the studio in Berlin, and my band is called The Broker, so we don't rehearse. We just go to a place and then we look at each other and say, what key? C, and then we play. So even in the places where we do gigs in the country, it is like that. It's more of a noise experiment, Yeah. And it's good. If it's like 4 hours playing, people will come and read their novels. People will come and start, shedding their clothes, and it's just beautiful. That way, very, very free flowing. Yeah, they released our album in Berlin. It's in vinyl now, so I don't know. I think 3 people bought it. So, good luck to them. It's noise.
Yeah, I would recommend earplugs maybe for some sessions you did. Let's play another clip, which brought us from rain to light. Also very important element. This will be a very short clip from The Woman Who Left. Venice winner, a great film, 4 hours, women's story, and there is this moment long into the film that I'm still bearing in my mind, and I wanted to play it. This is it. This is it, just the work with the light, coming from the car. I do not really have a question about it. I just wanted to show it and let you react, because this is like a repeating or refraining moment in your films. This counter light coming from some car, sometimes sun, sometimes window. Is it someone is going up the stairs against the window or something like that? There is something that interests you in this.
I'm very much influenced by German expressionism and also the chiaroscuro from Filipino comics and Filipino cowboys, where lights just come everywhere, from anywhere. I want that play in my cinema where the lights are just free to come in and out. Yeah, the sun will just come, or some light somewhere will come. It's great. There's a feeling of some spirit that's being involved in the scene. The Simisian sound, of course. Yeah, it is that kind of milieu that I want to see, where everything is just free flowing. Lights will come in, the rain will come. There's a scene from Arts before where we were shooting in a shallow stream, and then suddenly there's the rain, and we see the flood coming, and we didn't stop the shoot until the water is up here. It's great.
Yes.
You talk about screenplays, or that you don't have screenplays.
There are screenplays. There are screenplays, but I write them during the shoot. So.
Night before the shoot.
Yeah,
What
night.
do you think about the structure in post-productions?
Yeah.
Especially-
Everything happens in the post, of course. You.
And could you talk about that process, how you think about the structure in case of 5-hour-long movie?
It's easy in my films because you just put them together. So. They're like 1 take, 3 takes, and there's 1 frame, so it's easy. It's easier, yeah. There are no cut-to-cuts anyway, so yeah. Sometimes I make 2, 3 versions of it. A long one, a longer one, a shorter one, and feel it, you know. Or just as, you know, cut some scenes as well. You know, check where it's gonna flow better. You know, finding the right beat. You know, that's it.
So you don't think about the use of musical segments in your movies?
No, I don't. I want sound to be natural, to be diegetic in a way. If there's a radio, then there's music coming from there. It's okay. If there's a musician playing, then that's part of it. Yeah, I did some soundtracks with, you know, Batang West Side. I did their soundtrack there. The 4 films that I did in the studio, there are soundtracks because it was imposed by the producer. Yeah, he really forced me to put some soundtrack. I said, okay, you put it. But if it's up to me, then I'll do a naked version of those films, you know.
There's this Turkish director called
Celém, yeah.
And I know that, I think with his last film, he was asked by Khan, I think, to shorten it.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I didn't know that, yeah.
I mean, his films are like max 3 hours, I think, some people heard that, but have you ever been asked?
Yeah, they've asked me to do that.
And you did it?
No, of course not, yeah. Come on. Yeah. Who needs Khan, man? Come on. Yeah, we just... there's so many places to show cinema. It's not just Khan. It's good if they accept it, why not? But come on. Cinema will not die because of Khan, no. Fuck them, no. Cinema will live forever, you know.
Summer Film School has a certain history with showing author cinema of slow kind. That's like authors like Pedro Costa. I know you know him and you're friend with him, or Apichatpong Setako, also a great author of nowadays. And he mentioned here at Summer Film School that he's totally fine with people sleeping during the film. That it might even make the film a bit better. When you have a little nap for 15 minutes in the middle of the film, then you wake up and you see something different or something moved, and that it might make the film better. Do you agree?
Yes. Every time I watch a film, I sleep a bit. Yeah, and then when you wake up, it's great. The feeling is great. You're part of it. It's great to sleep in the film.
Okay.
Why do you edit your films by yourself? Are you afraid of editors? Or
No, they will destroy the film. I tried before. They're shortening and shortening. I said, don't do that. Come on, just put them together. You know. I can't imagine my films being cut by other people.
So you do basically agree that medium is the message. Like it's not that there is a message you want to pass on your audience. The medium itself is part of the message.
Yeah, of course. Yeah. Look at Bach now. Look at Joyce. Look at Tolstoy now. Look at Dostoevsky. Yeah. They never thought about having all these big things. They just want to share it. Kafka, even he wants to burn all his works. Good thing that somebody saved his works. Then we have the trial and metamorphosis, great works from Kafka. Yeah. So it is that, it's more of committing to some soul, some a greater perspective, a greater discourse. It's better that way. Some kind of a commitment. It's important, in the arts. Yeah.
there is a lot of humor or funny moments in your movies. So it's the way how to approach audience more, or how do you think about humor in your movies? How do you work with humor in your movies?
There's also something called like Filipino humor, so or some Czech humor. So I put them in my films. You know, no matter how sad or how wrongful our system or how we struggle with our lives, you know, we can laugh.
And is there some kind of, I don't know how to call it, self-referential humor? For example, last night in Melancholia, one of the characters says, fuck, I don't stand it anymore. And the audience laughed after 6 hours. It's something you think about, or
Just come out.
it's just part of the
characters, of course. You work on the characters, you know. It's more on that, you know. If they speak that way, then so be it. Yeah.
Some of the names of your characters are also a bit peculiar. I know there's a huge variety of names in Philippines, so it might be like accidental or it might be meaningful that the main character is named Hermes. It's a regular name, or is it a reference to the god? How does it work?
It's both. There are Filipinos who are named Jeremias, and also it's because of the Catholic thing. It's biblical, of course. Yeah. So the suffering man, the suffering in nature of our humanity. So Jeremias. Yeah.
And could you imagine coming back to film criticism? Would you be able to write about films, criticize, analyze?
Yeah. There's a lot of work. It's good to write about cinema, but there's a lot of work. You know, it's too much. You know. Yeah, it's like I've been buying books forever, but I'm not reading them. It's regretful. You want to read a lot of books, but then you can only read one paragraph while traveling from Vienna to Rodez. Come on, it's really. We don't have time, really, no? It's hard. So I want to write a lot about, and I want to write volumes of albums, but then there's no time. I want to write a novel or 3 novels, 5 novels, but then, I need to make films so that my people will not starve. Yeah, that's true. I keep making cinema because there's no job in the Philippines, and I'm feeding like 10, 15 people in my production. If I don't make cinema, they will starve. Their families will starve. At least now, people are giving me money for production, so these people can live. If I don't shoot, then there's nothing for them. It's also that kind of advocacy.
Do you want to tease us in the very end of this masterclass about your newest film that will be premiered in like 5 days, 4 days in Locarno?
Yeah.
What is it about?
The title is Essential Truths of the Lake. So it's again about finding the truth. It's the life of an investigator who keeps going back to this cold case it's a part of a country there's a lot of volcanoes and lakes. So Essential Truths of the Lake. He keeps looking for, digging some truths about this cold case, but he knows that there's nothing. But it's more about his pain. It's more about his confronting his own, malice, the malice of his soul, the malice of the Filipino soul. He's searching for the Filipino soul in a way. And it's great because I shot it again in black and white, 16 millimeter. Going back to 16 millimeter is like so liberating. Yeah.
Does it mean that those films shot on film tend to be shorter? Because there's
more discipline, but not shorter. Because you will tell the actor the role is only 3 minutes. Can you do your dialogue in 3 minutes? Okay. So there's more discipline now. With digital, you can just go on and on. But with 16mm, you have to measure the thing. You tell the people that we only have 1 minute, so the walk is just 1 minute, okay? So there's more discipline, with the celluloid. Yeah. It's a different medium. But they have their own great attributes, You just have to embrace them that way. Yeah. Again, you have a relationship with them by understanding them. Yeah.
If there are no more questions, then thank you very much
for
coming.
Thank you.
Lava Diaze.